Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Dennis. So today we're going to do a review of a case. It's the Armoury case. Had a look at it. It's white in color. It was like $109, and I was looking for a nice case that had the features I was looking for, but would really stand out. So this is the one I found. So let's see if it lives up to not just being a great price. Let's see if it lives up to being a good case. So let's have a look at it. We'll do an unboxing and get everything started, and then we'll go over everything. Here we go. Okay, so here's the first look at the case. All right, on the outside, so you can see what it kind of looks like. We have all our specs on the side. I'll go over that in a little bit, including your motherboard sizes, which are all the way from a mini-itx, micro-ATX, ATX, and an extended ATX. All right, we'll go over all this a little bit later. And first, we're going to get it out of the box, see how it's packaged, and we'll go from there. All right, so put it on its side. And I've already opened this here, so of course you can see it is white. And of course, the packaging for this is styrofoam, so that's the one that will break apart and go everywhere. So that's my first beef against that. If you watch my previous case review, you'll see the difference between this and the other kind. And the other kind, it doesn't peel off and get all over everything. And it protects it every bit as well as this, maybe better. And you can reuse the other kind more than you can this. So just want to point that out. I really like the grill on the front. So I'm going to get this out, we'll stand it up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so you get the styrofoam off, then you got another little piece of plastic. That's of course protecting it so that it doesn't get scratched and stuff. Now, one thing I noticed that I like about it already, now they've got the tape up here. So you have a filter at the top, all right, which is nice, magnetic. But one thing I like is you see this little pull here. So you want to open up the side, it just pulls open. And it's on like a hinge on both sides here. So I think that's pretty damn cool. So pull this open. And all you have to do is lift up. And it's going to come out. Here you have the white on the top. Of course you have your caution for the tempered glass. And we'll get this out of the way and we'll continue. And of course we can see the inside now. There's a lot to like about this case. I like the perforations. The aesthetic is quite pleasing. But before we get into the inside, we'll start with the back of it. So we have our opening for our I/O shield, room for a fan. Like I say, a lot of cases today, they're not including the fan anymore. That's because if you want to add your own RGB fan inside here, you're certainly able to do that, and most people are probably going to. You have 7 PCIe slots, you have more ventilation, and you have your one for your power supply is going to go here. There's no bracket, no nothing, so obviously it's going to have to go in from either the front or the side. It looks like it opens here, and we'll get this loosened up and we'll find out. So we got the back here. We're going to go to this side, and of course then we'll wind up going to the front. On the front, it's always usually just down here that you're going to pull, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, let's get all this undone so we can see what it's all about. Okay, so we're going to start with this one here. So we're going to unscrew this and see if this opens up, which I think it does, which a lot of them don't. And quite frankly, I wish they did, because it makes it a lot easier if you can get to the front here. So let's see if this actually opens. And we got the screw off. Oh, all right. So it just pulls like right here. So just give it a bit of a tug. Right, just pull it back. And so you have some nice covering here for probably a little bit of sound dampening actually, but also giving you the ventilation. So that's kind of nice. And yes, so now you can put your power supply in through here, and you can reach everything, which is what I like the most. Of course, we have our hard drive cage, but we're going to get the back off first to see a little bit more about that. So we have our 2 screws here. Now they're not adaptive, which usually they are, but in this case they're not. But you know, if you're going to have a case that's a little bit less pricey, you got to cut corners somewhere. So very solid panel. All right, no sound dampening, nothing on the inside, but it's got everything we need. All right, so let's have a look on the back. So we're going to start here. You can see where it has your SSDs. So 1, 2, 3 SSDs in the back can go here. You do have a little screw here if you want to take this off. And they tighten it on pretty good. So let's see what happens when we loosen this off. I'm curious. So we'll take that. Does it pop off? Yep. So this just goes into these slots here. All right, pops in there. So probably makes it so you can fasten them on here. Put them back into those slots. Get your Velcro out of the way, of course. And then screw it back on. Just like that. So I'm going to put that back on and just leave it for now. But the thing about that that's nice is you got all your storage out of the way, route your cables down below, and you're good to go. So speaking of cables, all our cables are nicely tied up. All right, so let's have a quick look at them. I want to go over that because these are the things that will confuse most people. So what do we got going on here? Okay, so I may have found the first thing I don't like. So when they tie these all up, they're tied to the top. So if you're not careful, all right, you could probably pull those out of there. So I'm going to have to be a little careful getting all this out of here. So I would caution you to do the same. It's a twist tie here. So I'm not going to undo that at the moment. But just be aware that you'll be able to use these twist ties to keep everything in place. And when you have all these cables running from the top, you have to be very careful. They're kind of delicate, all right? So you don't want to pull anything loose and then suddenly your USB and all that's not working. So our cables here. So what do we have? We have our power LED, so positive and negative. We have a reset switch. Our fans, all right. We have power, and we have HDD LED, positive and negative, which really doesn't matter a whole lot when you're doing it, by the way. All right. Here we have our HD audio. Doesn't say it on there, which is actually maybe it's USB. I think it might be USB. And this one is probably, yeah, that's interesting. They look identical, but one is HD audio, one is USB. The USB is likely this one just because of the way the spots are missing or not, okay? And then, of course, we have our USB 3.0. So that's all our cables. So we can just put them back in here, put that on there, and tidy it up. I'm going to leave that there for now. Actually, maybe I'm not. I'm just going to do it a little differently than they did it. Just to kind of keep it somewhat organized. We have our box of accessories here. So that just pulls out. And we'll get that open in a second. It's going to be all your screws and everything like that. So in here you have all your cables. Here we have twist ties and all your different screw sizes for putting everything on there. All right, and in here, oh, what is this? Oh, this is nice. I didn't know they would include that. It's a fan hub. All right, so you have 6 fans and powered by a SATA cable, and yeah, and it has adjustable RGB. So that's going to let your fans show all their colors and all that kind of good stuff. So that's nice. That's a nice surprise. I was not expecting to see that. And for the back of a case, that's quite a lot. But your fans, as I'll point out, are adjustable RGB. All right. You're probably going to have to hook all these up. When I go to show you the fans running, I'll hook all these up and show them to you, just so you can see them. If I don't have to put in a motherboard. So that will depend. So let's move to the front. All right, so you have your mesh. Like I say, down here, now I just like to look inside sometimes. You have little plastic pieces. You can push those. Honestly, it's not going to make a difference. A lot of people, I've had people say, oh, you're going to break the case. They have never broken a case this way. Put your hand down here, give it a slight tug, and it comes off. If it wasn't designed to do that, they wouldn't do it that way. All right? These, yes. If you do them over and over and over, maybe it would break. It has never broke on me. I've never had a problem. And they're certainly not all going to break, so you're not going to have an issue. And we have the Armoury logo right here. This fan, I believe, will come off. Yeah, so it'll come off. It's got little brackets and stuff in here, so you can take that off if you need to clean it. I'd like to know if that comes off. Yeah, so we're going to set that aside right on along with the power supply shroud cover. And now you can see that we have 3 120 millimeter fans. Now these are adjustable RGB, and of course it would look good if they all sat that way, but as we know, when fans turn, that doesn't happen. But in this case, now it is. So obviously you have some room in here, so if you can have 3 120s, it has room for 140s in here as well. I'll go over all that, like I said. And so you're going to be able to adjust these. There is some adjustment in here, which means your radiator will accompany that as well. Now, for liquid cooling, okay, here we go. You can have a 240, no, this is in the front, 240, 280, 360, no longer than 403 millimeters. So let's have a quick look at the top, since we're going to move there anyway. And let's just see. So we're going to get this off. It's magnetic, like I say. So, yep, you can have, yeah. Yep, you're going to be able to put a 360 there. That's pretty good. I don't think I see many cases that necessarily allow you to do that. You've got all your cutouts, all your sizings for your different size fans, whether it be 120 or 140. But let's move on to the important part. Okay, so we have our HDD LED, reset switch, speaker, mic, 2 USB 3.0s, okay, or 2.0s, and a USB single 3.0. I'd like to see a USB-C on here, but that's just the way it is. And your power button. Not too much to go over there. All right, so we're going to go into the inside of the case now, and we'll go to the bottom afterward. Let's see what all is inside. So your accessory pack there also comes with an addressable RGB controller. All right, so that's good to know. Your VGA card length, so your graphics card, 380 millimeters. Your CPU cooler height, 175 millimeters. Now, I think that's pretty darn good. Now, they mentioned the RGB button on the top, so maybe I missed that. So let's have another look here. I want to verify. All right, so I guess this is going to be for your colors to change them manually if you want. Okay, that works. Yeah, it's always like, if your software doesn't work, having it on your case makes all the difference in the world, because you can still change the colors, get it the way you want as a last resort. But at least you can get it what you want to see. All right, so one thing I want to mention as well, like I just said, so from the back here for your CPU cooler to the front, so up until your tempered glass is closed, you have room for 175 millimeter CPU cooler height. All right, those are important things to know. I'm going to go over, I'm going to verify front and back. Obviously, we can have up to a 360, but no bigger than a 403 millimeter in the front. Where they say the top is the box is completely wrong. So it's going to be a 120, 140 millimeter in the back. Okay, for the top, you're going to be able to have 240, 280, 360, and again, no more than 403 millimeters. All right, so sometimes the box is just wrong, folks. You can go by it, but if you read that off, you need to know by looking at it, by size of the fans, what you really can put in here or not, because otherwise you're going to confuse people. Size of the case. All right, so the case size is 460 by 231 by 486 millimeters. Packing size, so just in case you're wondering, is 555 by 295 by 535. I have no idea why anybody would want to know that. Anyhow, we've gone over the SSDs. All right, so you can have 3. Okay, in the back, there's no room. It even mentions 5.25 inch drives. Who would have that these days? Obviously, you can see them at the front. You're not going to get one of those. All right, 3.5 inch drives. That's where we get down here for a hard drive bay. So when you're looking down here, you have room for one down here. Now, I suppose you could put one on top, but yeah, you probably double-sided tape or something like that if you wanted to. But with M.2 drives and SSDs, you have more than enough room for storage. So you're probably not even going to use that. And personally, I'm probably going to take that out to give me more room for my power supply. All right, because I'm going to want that. All right, let's go back to the inside of the case now. All right, so we gave you the CPU cooler height, all that kind of good stuff. You have perforations here. You have 2 openings on the side. You have this here. This does not look like it comes off. Let's have a look. No, yes it does. So you have a screw here, and there's likely another one down here somewhere. Maybe it's just the one. Yep, just the one. So that screw is going to come out, and I guess that's going to let you take this off. This is probably just sitting in a groove down here, and yeah. So I mentioned the motherboard sizes, all the way from mini-itx up to an e-ATX, which is probably why you would want to take this off. It's probably going to exceed this here, so you would have to take that off in order to have that. I don't remember of all the systems I built ever having an e-ATX motherboard, but I'm sure they are out there. So if you have one, just keep that in mind. So we have lots of room for cable management in the back. We have openings on the side and room in the front here for a radiator. And like I say, you've got room in here. And I would definitely take this 3.5 inch drive out to make more room for your cables and everything like that. And then you're going to be happy with it. Okay, so we've done everything except for the bottom of the case. So let us go there. All right, so not much in the way of feet. It does set up a little bit so you get some height and a couple of rubber feet, so it'll make it not move around so much. You want to remove your hard drive cage? Right here, right here. And I am going to do that right now. So since I want to do it, I'm going to show you. So a couple of screws. And I would suggest holding on to it on the inside so that it doesn't just fall. And it's not going to. That's good to know, because these are probably holding it in place. So let's just maneuver it a little bit. So let's push it. See how that just goes back and forth, holds it in place, and then you just pop it on out. And you can move it up if you want it and put it there. And in fact, that might give you the room. So let's put that in there actually. I'm going to lock that in place, and let's have a look on the inside afterwards. So I'm going to leave that there right now, put the screws in afterward. So we also have a filter on the bottom here, right? Just pulls right out and goes back in. And it's not the best, but like I say, it's a cheap budget case. I'm going to be doing a budget build, and yeah, that's pretty good. So let's have a look on the inside and see what happens with this hard drive cage. So on the inside here, we know we maneuver it. So we've moved it here, and that does give you about another inch, but another inch of space here. So if that's enough to be able to use your 3.5 inch drive here, you can certainly do that. And that's pretty much it. maybe I'm going to put power supply in there and fire up these fans. Let's see if I can do that. I probably won't be able to, simply because when it's addressable RGB, you have to have a motherboard in there. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that, because all I would be doing is putting it in there, and you see the fan spinning, but you're not going to see much else. So that is it. That's all there really is to it. I like this. This is the best feature that this thing has right here. Do I like this case? Yes, I do actually. The top does not come off. Okay, it's riveted on. All right, so you could bust those out if you really wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you could. Okay, there's more rivets on the front and even on the side. So that's it. That's the review. That's the unboxing. Hope you like it. All right, everybody, so the case is just a budget case. It's got pretty much everything on it, but when they can't even get the specs on the box right, to tell you about what you need to put where, that's kind of bad. I will make sure that is in the video that you see all the fans, where they go, all that. And I'll try and do it early in the video, or whatever point is I start talking about the fans, so you can just kind of quickly pause that, have a look at it, and you'll know exactly where your rads go, where your fans go. I went over it, but I want to double check, make sure it's all good, and then you'll be able to see it. And if you have any questions, of course, put it in the comments, and I will answer you. I will get back to you. I do it all the time. I'm happy to help you out. All right, if you're new here, think about subscribing. If you click that bell for notifications for videos as they come up, it'll help you out. Hit that playlist if you want to see other videos that I've done. And of course, like I say, if you have questions, put them in the comments and I will get back to you. So I hope you liked the video. If you like it, give me a big old thumbs up. And tell me what you thought. I like the case. I like the size. It's not huge, but it's not too small either. And it accommodates everything. All right. It does come in white. I'm pretty sure it comes in black as well. I don't know if it comes in any other colors. I haven't seen any other colors. But that one, I liked it because the white they use today isn't like the white they used to use years ago, where it was kind of more of a beige, and it was kind of like a off-white. It was kind of like the case was always dirty, which is why I think people moved away from it and went to black cases for a while. But now that they've got the color scheme going right and the way it looks, that makes these cases much more attractive and appealing. And at this price point, that's 105 Canadian, so it's going to be much cheaper for you American friends there. And so it'll fit your budget, fit your build, and I think it's going to be pretty darn good. I like the fact that you can move the hard drive around just to give you that extra room if you need it, and still be able to use a 3.5-inch drive if you so choose. I have them, but I haven't used them for a long time now. So it's, if you need lots of storage, it's there for you. So it gives you the option. So anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. See you in the next one.